devils with angels.
Hi everyone, I'm Daniel from IGN, and today I'm joined by Craig Sullivan, who's the creative director at Ghost Games, and you've made this game.
Yes, I'm the creative director on Need for Speed Rivals, which you're about to see now. We're going to run a video and I'm going to give you a little commentary over the top. So here, I don't even know who's playing here. They're playing as a cop, obviously, and on the left-hand side of the screen you can see that they're in all drive, and they're in the all drive with 5 other players. So
can you just quickly elaborate on all drive? Say you've played Hot Pursuit, you've played Most Wanted. What is all drive?
Well, just perfectly to cue there. So this player is now. Is this you?
This is
me. This is
me.
you, right? Okay, so
yeah. I don't get off to the best start, but honestly, I really do recover.
Okay, it's the caveats right at the start. Yeah. Does that mean
this
you're
is actually
rubbish?
some really embarrassing, like Austin Powers kind of reversing here?
Okay, all right.
I wasn't sure what handbrake was. Okay, so.
That's okay. Everybody has to start somewhere, right? So okay, so at least you can read the text on the screen. You understood turn around to start the game. So what's actually cool here is that you're now starting an event with what? 2 other players, right, at the same time. So at the top of the screen you can see the threat locator, which is kind of our cool version of a mirror, and underneath that you can see the little green gamer pictures are showing you that you're playing this event with 2 other players. They're in the event with you at the same time. Now the empty spaces on the right hand side show you that you could actually play this same event with up to 5 other players, right? So
these people have to be your friends, or they be kind of random?
They can be both. So you can set the game to be friends only if you want to, or you can set it to public, or you can turn it completely off if you want to. But obviously we like to play the game. It's way better playing with friends, because when you're playing with 2 people as you are now, everything you do, every point that you earn is increased by the amount of players that you're playing with. So I think it's actually 20% for each player. So there you're earning effectively 140%. If you're driving with 5 other players, then you're earning double score for everything. So not only is it beneficial in terms of showing that you can play all of the events together, and that you're all driving together, you're actually getting a speed point benefit for it as well, which is really cool.
So we're also incurring quite a lot of time penalties here on the way. So are they kind of collective time penalties? So no matter who crashes, we're all incurring them?
No, so this. I mean, we looked at that system. We actually made it so this is an event where you will start and play together, but you will actually get your individual target times, because we didn't want to
penalise you if you were playing with someone.
If someone's, I don't know what you were doing there.
I don't know. It's just been a bit cocky.
So if you're playing with people of different skill levels, some of them will have shared medals, and some of them will not have shared medals. So for things like a Hot Pursuit, if you go in and you manage to shut everybody down really quickly and finish the event, you will all share the medal. In something like a time attack, which is essentially what rapid response is, it's getting to the end by the quickest route possible without doing things like driving around like that. Then you'll actually get individual ones as you go through. So the game tries to be as organic as it can be. Obviously when you're when you're playing as a racer, then you go through a race, then you'll have individual medal thresholds for how you finish those things. So it's as organic as we can make it. Also, what you just saw there is someone else started all driving with you. Someone else has now dropped out as well. So that actually means that they dropped out of the all drive radius, which is the green ring on the mini map down at the left hand corner of the screen. Right. So that shows you that when someone's nearby, when you're essentially all driving with them. I mean, I don't know if you actually get to a point where you go away from everybody else here, but we'll probably see that happen as well.
So will there be these multiple all drive circles around the map that you can enter into, or is it just is it formed depending on the people? Yeah.
So if you look at the main map, you'll see that everybody has this all drive ring around them, and it's essentially it's a sphere of influence, right? So as soon as you get close to someone, you're considered to be all driving with them. Now the cool thing about that is it doesn't have to be someone on the same faction as you, right? So you can all drive with cops and you can all drive with racers, right? So as a cop, if you start chasing a human racer in the world now, you're essentially all driving with them. So they will see your picture as someone that's chasing them. They'll start scoring bonus points for everything they do as well. So they could actually be in an event on their own. So you could, for instance, come across a racer who's already in a race and you start chasing them and you're adding to that multiplayer experience. So that's kind of the kind of fundamental thinking behind all drive, is that it's seamless, right? I can be doing something on my own against AI, then one human, two human, or five humans could turn up and add to that overall process. Or you could both be in events in themselves. We actually get situations where two racers might be playing races against AI that interweave and actually, come across each other. Or you might be playing an interceptor as a cop, where you end up chasing after someone that's already in another event. It's that flexibility and choice that we don't think people have had before.
This game to me feels very much like the evolution after Hot Pursuit and Most Wanted to a game that kind of draws on elements for both of those games. Like, you worked on both of those, is that right?
Yeah. I was I was the creative director on Hot Pursuit and on Most Wanted, and I was lucky enough to be creative director on this one as well. And actually, what we really were in a good position to do is look back at both of those games and say, what are the things that people really enjoyed, right? What is the telemetry telling us? Telemetry is basically the information sent back to us as developers that allow us to see what people are genuinely playing, right? The numbers don't lie. So we know that people played 50% of their time as a cop and 50% of their time as a racer, right? It was a real split. It wasn't, it could have been anywhere between, 90% as a racer and 10% as a cop, but we knew it was a real split down the middle in terms of our audience. So we knew it was something we wanted to do again, the ability to play as a cop or the ability to play as a racer. We knew that Hot Pursuit as a game mode was the most popular one in Hot Pursuit, the game itself. We knew Pursuit Tech was really cool and people really liked it. We also knew that people really, really enjoyed the collectibles and the open world play that was in Most Wanted. So we've kind of cherry-picked the best things out of both of those games based on what the audience really enjoys and loves playing, and then we've wrapped them up in this new way and brought them together with All Drive, which is a whole new experience that nobody's had before. So it's getting the best of both worlds and bringing something that's new and fresh to the table.
What's some of that new Pursuit Tech? Can you talk about it?
There are a few new ones that, again, Pursuit Tech is really hard to balance, because obviously it has to work against AI and humans, so we had to be very careful about it, but a couple of the new ones are in here. We have ESF. Actually, down on the bottom right here above the speeder, you can see that you're rolling with a shock ram, which is kind of like an air pressure burst that's pushed out of the front of the car. We purposely didn't have lasers and missiles and machine guns and stuff. We had to do stuff that was kind of we said it should be possible to build if we really put our mind to it, right? So this shoots a pressurized jet of kind of gas or oxygen out of the front of the car, and it's basically just a boost that you can use to smash people off the road or punch them and kind of slow them down as you're trying to bust them as a cop. We also have the ESF, which you can use on the racer side, which gives you, it's almost like a local EMP. EMP was in Hot Pursuit, and it's essentially an EMP that's carried in your car. So if you touch someone with that, then it gives them, again, a punch and kind of, it keeps the action going. It's not a knockout blow, but it gives them a punch and allows you to work your way through the pack as a racer or take down cops as you're playing through the game. And there are a few other ones in there as well, but I'm sure you'll see them as we go over the weeks and we get more towards final.
Next gen, what's that giving you? There's already quite a few kind of open world social racing games with The Crew and Drive Club that have been announced, both new games. Is that to do with technology that next gen offers, or is that just the way that the racing genre is going, do you think?
I think it's, for us, it was knowing that we were going to be launching on next-gen consoles and working out what we thought was a next-gen experience. That brought us to All Drive, it brought us to a new way of thinking, and then we were lucky enough that we were able to transfer that experience back down to current-gen consoles as well, so everybody gets a similar experience. It's not identical, but it's similar. I think definitely when we turned up at E3 and we announced the game, we were really happy that there were other games that were embracing this single-player, multiplayer way of thinking. Titanfall, is a game I played quite a bit, and they have the multiplayer, single-player experience, weaving the two together. The Crew we played at E3. I think that's coming out next year, and I think they have a slightly different approach to us. But I'm going to be interested to see what those guys do. Drive Club I played as well. They have. I think some things that are very reminiscent of Autolog comparisons in there, so I think the more and more as we progress into the new consoles and gaming goes forward, we're definitely going to get this seamless blend way more.
You said you've got an experience for Rivals that you were able to still bring back to current gen platforms. What happens when that kind of shackle or limitation is taken off? What can you then do with this new technology?
I mean, really, we're just at the start of what we're going to be able to do with these new machines. Particularly, we're launching on 5 platforms with Rivals, and we've tried to push every machine as hard as we possibly can. So the graphics on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are going to be a significant step up from PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. But I think that there's way more potential in the new machines. We're really interested with the video sharing, particularly, is going to be really cool, and I think is going to be a big hit with people. And we're really just starting on a journey that's going to take Need for Speed to a new place. And things like All Drive we see as the amount of possibilities that gives us can only be kind of tenfold as we go more forward on next gen.